we now have the answer to our question. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Absolute Legends versus No Tidehunter Dreamhack Winter 2012 quarterfinals action. I'm LD. I'm joined by Brian, or FluffNStuff, as many of you may know him, former captain of Complexity, last seen playing for the A team. I was wondering, is Lone Druid worth a ban? AL say, hell yes he is. We're not dealing with that Bulldog Druid again.
Yep, definitely a good ban. They probably just took this time, their break in between Game 1 and Game 2 to discuss what they did wrong and what they think might have been a problem, and Lone Druid was definitely a problem, so I can respect that ban there.
Yeah, it's not only a respect ban, but it's a ban that you can respect too. So pretty cute stuff. Of course, here's our brackets, guys. So real quickly, No Tidehunter leading this series 1-0. This is game number 2. The winner of this series moves on to face Team Empire in the semifinals. The whole tournament is single elimination, best out of 3s. Even the grand finals is a best out of 3 as well. So this game, it's a must-win for Absolute Legends if they want to move forward. The big hero that's left in the pool, it is Batrider this time around. At least that's what we see a lot of teams go for with that first pick, but they leave it in the pool. Will No Tidehunter take it?
Oh, interesting. I'm not really sure why they would pick Jakiro first and leave Batrider. Maybe they're baiting No Tidehunter into picking it and they have some plan figured out here. That's definitely a possibility. But also BH is left in the pool as well. I'm not sure if Jakiro's first pick material over these type of heroes, but you know, maybe AL knows something I don't.
I wonder what they have in mind. There is an Undying in the pool. There's a Naga. I mean, there are some heroes if you want to run an aggressive tri-lane. And that's one thing you and I talked about last game was No Tidehunter just seemed too comfortable, and it seems too easy and natural for them to get into a rhythm when they can just farm Loda, farm Bulldog, and push for mid-game, push for late-game timings. One way to try and disrupt that is an aggressive tri-lane. Well, so much for aggressive tri-lanes, because No Tidehunters snap up the Undying on their own. It feels like, well, they could get Batrider now on the side of AL at least.
Yeah, they can. Undying's a really annoying hero. I mean, I don't think they saw this coming. No Tidehunter is like known for doing this like on occasion, and it might have been an oversight from AL. But yeah, Undying, I believe that you need to have some sort of way to deal with these zombies. They're too powerful. Some popular ways of dealing with it is maybe Gyrocopter, using the flat cannon, being able to kill all zombies in one hit. Even little spells like Vengeful Terror will kill zombies, or obscure ones like Dazzle, Shallow Wave will kill zombies, but they need a way to deal with it, I'm sure.
I think I saw yesterday that Edict actually kills them. It does do mixed damage, so I suppose it's possible, but
It's not good enough because
yeah,
you know, they're just constantly spawning. Yeah.
You need something that hits everything at once, not just one random thing every split second or so. Well, yeah. AL get the Sven for themselves this time, so it is AL who they have a little bit more of like a well-balanced opening to this draft, it seems. They have more team fight, they've got good AoE, but they also have some late game and some gank. I feel like there's a bit more of sort of a game plan behind these picks.
Well, arguably two of the strongest heroes on AL's team. They have the Batrider, one of the most like well-regarded heroes as being, you know, overpowered. They have the Sven, one of the strongest carries in this meta, I believe. They have the Jakiro, one of the strongest supports. So they have a pretty good lineup right now. Let's just see what they do with it. Seems a lot more standard than, you know, the approach they took in Game 1.
Before we talk more about the game, apparently people can't hear you in Dota TV, so it looks like you just need to toggle. If you just toggle enable open mic on and off again, or off and on again rather, that should fix it. Sorry about that, guys. Just a bit of a Dota TV bug. Happens no matter who's casting, every single time. But fortunately, that's what Stream Chat is for, so you can yell at us and we can fix it. Now we enter the second stage of the picks, and what do you think No Tidehunter have in mind? It feels a little bit... I guess my big question is who's S4 going to play? Because they don't really have a hero. I mean, maybe the solo mid Rubik for him? What do you think?
I think Eternal Envy and Akke will play the Rubik, but actually, I did see Eternal Envy play the Undying before, so...
Oh yeah, you're right.
He might not be playing the Rubik in this case. It could be S4. That's definitely a possibility, but just on the drafting level, I think Absolute Legends, they identify that No Tidehunter doesn't have a carry, so they're going to ban out these type of heroes, and also the Co-op. That's one of S4's heroes that he goes to. And no Tidehunters trying to look to ban out the supports here. So it'll be interesting to see what they think the other team's going to do and if they can successfully counter it.
Well, clearly they think loda doesn't have his hero, and these are certainly not heroes I've seen him play. I can't remember what I've seen him play aside from the Void and the Sven. It seems like he's been getting them almost every game. It just didn't work out that way in this draft. Actually, going to look at his recent match history. Okay, he's played a Kunkka. That was versus Rigged, which is sort of... Oh, Luna is another big one. Yep.
That's the hero.
Banned as well. So what's left for Loda?
There's like a Naix, Sea Cave, and I don't think they would go for that.
I guess, yeah, Naix. He's played TA. These are... I don't know, it's just... He's been playing so much freaking Sven. If you go to dota-academy.com, you can actually filter by no Tidehunter's last 5 lineups, and it actually shows their last 10. It's like 8 out of the 10 are Sven, and the other one, there's like one Luna in here. I mean, he's been playing so much Sven. I'm really excited to see how they adapt. Do they go for a different type of hero, maybe even more of an aggressive or mid game type lineup? I don't know. This is going to be interesting to see how they draft.
Well, NTH has said in an interview, I think Eternal Envy said that he might even go for the PL if all these heroes are out of the pool. They've been playing around with that idea.
How do you feel it matches up against Sven? Because on paper you'd think Cleave is pretty good against illusion-based heroes.
Well, I think he'll be okay. It caused a lot of confusion. No Tidehunter has the ability to... I feel like they might want to just like start 5-manning with this Undying pick, unless they're using it for some other reason. Usually people will pick it so they can get in the fights all the time and just be completely annoying, but I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what they would do, but you know, it's about the team supporting the carry, not the carry supporting the team. So you can get away with anything. That's what TCL tells me.
Well, there you go. There's your counter to the zombies. I feel like AL are making a lot of smart moves in this draft, from banning out Loda's heroes, knowing that he still doesn't have it picked up, to picking a bit of a counter to the Tombstone, to the zombies. Also, the first pick Jakiro felt weird, but they managed to get Batrider and Sven. And Sven, probably the most popular carry in this version right now, up there with heroes like Luna. I think TA's fallen off a little bit, but is still pretty popular. Gyrocopter's really made a comeback recently. It's sort of it seems like it's always picked to counter the Undying, but this is... And he's got Sven backing him up, so he's got that move speed, and that's one of the issues with Gyrocopters, getting in and out of the fights in a timely fashion.
Yeah, much more balanced lineup here from Ale compared to the other game. And it doesn't seem like NTH really has solidified what they're going to do here. And even the Beastmaster pick, it doesn't look like they're aiming to win their lanes here. In the other game, you know, they're going to win every single lane. It doesn't look like they see that opening in Absolute Legends here. Before they had an Enigma that said, hey, you can come offensive us, and we can't really deal with it. But this time, you know, AL has more options here. No Tidehunter seems to be taking a more passive approach in this game.
Is this an S4 Beastmaster? It looks like we might see a solo mid Beastmaster. I think the only other time I've seen this, it's decent against Batrider. It's not... You're not really going to crush the lane, but you'll get your farm. You can bottle Crow. You can try and use the board to deny runes. There are some cute utility-type plays you can make. The last time I saw this here was Shao 8 played it in G1 League. I'm not sure if you watched any of those matches, but he had a pretty easy matchup, and he just crushed his lane. Got the early Ags.
He's a great Beastmaster.
Yeah. It was impressive, but I don't think I don't think we're gonna see that kind of lane matchup for S4 in this game.
Well, they might be thinking that Batrider is off lane because they have a Gyrocopter, and you can't really put Gyrocopter on your safe lane. It's probably going to be reserved here for Sven, and now that there's a winner pick, we have to assume that Batrider is going to jungle. So it might not be too difficult of a matchup for Beastmaster. I think if it was Beastmaster versus Bat would have won them pretty easily.
Right.
But you know, they probably didn't think that Batrider would be going middle in the first place. So that's like that's good for them to notice.
They still don't have the carry. This is that moment of truth. Who's Loda going to play? And what do they... I mean, actually, this is where I really want to breed up my list of heroes. I wish there was a way to easily breed it up without leaving the drafting screen, just have it as a pop-up. But I'm really racking my brain. You mentioned Phantom Lancer. There is a Naga Siren in the pool. It doesn't really feel like a great choice against the BKB carries, against Batrider, who can just jump in, lasso you, and burst you down. with Sven's backup, but I don't know. I'm really curious what they're going to go for as this last pick.
Yeah, they seem to be in an odd situation here, and this is what happens in the new patch where you have 3 bans on second phase. If you don't pick up your carry heroes immediately, they all get banned out. Like Luna and Void would have been perfect here, and now they have to go with the Nyx. They can deal with the Nyx with the Batrider, and he's not really going to out-carry Sven, especially when Sven gets big, so it's a pretty even matchup there on the carry field. But I do think that a Luna or Void would have been much better for No Titan here.
Yeah, I'm a little... And it's... I guess the one nice combo they have is... Well, actually, you can infest the Hawk, right? So you can infest the Hawk, you can infest the Bounty Hunter. But...
That'll be nice.
I mean, the one thing about AL is I wouldn't say they're quite as sound with their defense. They're really good at making those spectacular, splashy, aggressive plays. But there will be gank opportunities, I feel, for No Tidehunter. So, will there be enough? I'm not sure, but there will be some openings for the Slavesteer Bounty Hunter. But there have to be, because... late game Sven, Gyrocopter, even the support Windrunner is going to be... I mean, Undying doesn't scale well, especially against this lineup. Rubik, he could, but... I mean, what is there to steal? There's nothing... There's not one ability that feels... I guess... Maybe a Warcry would probably be the best spell to steal, honestly. I'm not sure. Ice Path, I guess. We'll have to see.
To me, it feels like the opposite of game 1. Remember, like, last game, it seemed like AL was reacting to Sven pick on... NTH, but now it's NTH reacting to the Sven pick on AL. So what they have here is they have Undying. He's difficult to run in as a melee hero. They have Track. It'll make it easy to kite this hero. They have Rubik. It's easy to steal Stormbolt. It's great utility. Even Warcry, I mean, to a lesser extent, but and then they have the Beastmaster as the reward that will go through BKB. So they have plenty of ways to deal with this Sven. But it seems like this time around, AL has the dual core. They have the Gyro, and the NTH only has 1 carry this time.
Uh-oh, they're going to start on Come With Me here. Decay, 1 Decay. I think he actually got... Oh, he got 3 stacks off of that. That's a lot of HP. Look at the Ice Path. Oh, man. Imagine if they had a Juggernaut here. They don't, though. Bulldog charges in and doesn't realize there's a sentry. He drops. That was a 5-hero Decay from akke. Look at his HP. 1,200 HP already. Unbelievable. But can he actually do anything with it? He's working on Bamboe. You don't want to have these sustained team fights against an Undying. They do get the first blood, but akke might find more. Is there another slow? There is. Open wounds. Ace will fall to this. akke, slowly the stacks are wearing off, but they're going to get 2 before they're done. 5-hero Decay. That is a first for me. I think that's a first in Dota 2. Wow.
Honestly, I thought that AL had the upper hand there. They have the sticky napalm and rocket barrages, an insane amount of damage, as well as Ice Path just lining them up, doing great damage at level 1. I think AL wasn't expecting that. I think they're kind of caught out, and they didn't have their focus down. They should have just... I think they should have had that team fight, but akke with his great decays, just making it pretty clutch right there.
It helps that AO was a little bit clumped up there. Wow, mid lane, Bamboe taking a lot of damage. Looks like the axes were thrown out, and well, made 5 stacks on S4. S4 will back off. He'll be okay for a few moments. So let's introduce our players. We haven't had the chance to do it yet. Loda on the Lifestealer is going to be in an offensive tri-lane with a Rubik being played by Eternal_Envy. One thing I have to say about Eternal_Envy that has really impressed me is just he has this sixth sense for dewarding, more so than almost any Western support I've seen. Follow akke on the Undying, solo mid S4 on the Beastmaster, and admiralbulldog, last but not least, he is once again getting the safe lane. This time it's on the Bounty Hunter, though, not on his lone Druid.
Yeah, and the interesting thing to note here is that the Sven is actually a support, so I was wrong. I don't really agree with this, but because I think Sven can outcarry the Nyx, and I do not think Gyro will outcarry the Nyx, so this might be the wrong move. But on the bright side, they do have the Bad versus the Beastmaster middle. I think that will have a nice time here.
So far, it's maybe not as nice as you would like, though. He's not really keeping Beastmaster's farm down. He is getting a lot on his own. Over to the other side. AL, as mentioned, it's a support Sven. Come with me handling this one. Mania on the Jakir. They do have a lot of AoE, a lot of nuke damage, but there's an Undying on the enemy tri-lane. So that always makes life hard. Sony Ace on the Gyrocopter. In the middle lane, sexybamboe reprising his role. Oh, and then on the bottom lane, it's Freezer, who may have impressed Bulba with his play, but admiralbulldog is the one doing all the impressing here. And without early set, what we saw a lot of in G1 is you always get sentry wards for whatever lane you expect the Bounty Hunter to be in. Even if it's a 1v1, because otherwise it doesn't matter that he's melee. He walks up in Viz, and you lose a quarter of your health to a single Janata attack. I feel like Freezer has to be pulled some sentries, or even buy them himself. Otherwise, he's just not going to be able to lane against ldDOTA very well.
Right, and not only that, they're actually pulling him the poor man shield and regen, so he's going to have a pretty easy time just harassing Freezer in this lane.
It feels a little bit strange on paper, right? Because, you know, you'd think the 600 range hero has the advantage, but that's Bounty Hunter for you.
Bounty Hunter has 8 armor right now, and he has a poor man shield, so...
It's actually kind of disgusting.
He can take a lot of abuse.
Freezer wants to give him some. Throws out the power shot, not going to hit. DD room picked up by S4. Did have to journey a bit farther. Was spawning on the bottom lane.
And you see Envy doing his trademark ancient pulls already. He'll do it even in offensive trialing. I find that kind of bizarre, but you know he can get away with it, and he knows that. So that's a good move by him. They're getting set up for the mid game already.
His ward game, like if wards could kill, this guy would be some serial killer. I mean, seriously, he does so much work with his warding, whether it's dewarding. And I mean, I feel like it's very efficient though, because he was going to go deward that hill anyway, so might as well stop to go and do the stacking. And the one thing about this tri-lane is, well, it's not a tri-lane right now, but they have an Undying and a Lifestealer. These are not easy heroes to initiate upon. What are you going to do? Stun the Undying? He's going to decay, he's going to pop the Tombstone. If you initiate on Lifestealer, he'll just rage. So I feel like it's a pretty smart time to do it. Middle lane though, Envy. Oh boy. He wants Bamboe. This is not a smart play. Oh, the axes are going to miss. S4 not quite on the same place page as the Rubik. And they go for a really early kill on Bamboe, and it fails.
Bamboe was pretty low, and Envy... It seemed like Envy thought he was going to get a flank there, but luckily, you know, Mania, great player that he is in the perfect position for that, gets the counter gank, and that's great for them. But what Envy was doing there, what his business was there in the first place, was he was counter-warding the pulls. So if you see here, the inherent advantage of the Dyer's lane is that they can get the pulls, they can get the experience advantage, so it kind of evens out, even though their lane's a little bit weaker. But what Envy's doing is he's warding up the spawns so they can't pull, and that way they're going to have to get in these fights. They're going to have to get in these positions where they have to fight against the Undying and the Nakes, and that's going to be difficult for them.
Right, despite having all this... Well, really? As soon as I move the camera away, the roar comes out, now level 7 on S4. Envy didn't even get there in time. It looks like that was just a solo kill from S4. Nothing on cooldown from Envy. Maybe one auto attack was thrown out. More ancient stacking. And this is an interesting kind of adaptation. We often see... the other thing about the offensive tri-lane, in a weird way, it protects your ancient stacking. Like, if it's just a Beastmaster here, the enemy supports maybe feel a little more confident to walk towards that, try to ward off the ancients, but with 2 or 3 heroes top, it means, well, they can't really do it. So Envy doing the ancient stacking, Beastmaster actually solo mid, but is actually going to be able to farm these much earlier. Even Lifestealer can benefit from that experience, and when they run these tri-lanes, this is the second game in a row where they stack ancients early, and it's their way to come back into the lane, even if they fall a bit behind the levels.
Yeah, and like I was talking about the first game, I do think this is the way you're supposed to play the tri-lane. You're not supposed to have 3 heroes just soaking up the experience and doing nothing. I think that your supports need to play this kind of roaming role. Need to get some stacks off, because if you look at the lane, it's working beautifully for NTH. They have Undying at level 4 and Lifesteal level 4. That's insane. Speaking
of insane, Loda is running for his life insanely fast. Follow akke. Again, like, they have a lot of chain stun. Most heroes, you just kill them, but they can't really initiate upon this. And Envy, oh no. Bamboe gets that invis. That's not the problem. The problem is that Envy might get caught, and comes Bamboe.
Oh, nice flame break.
Well, that was sick. That was a... Oh, he's going to pull him up onto the cliff. This is not fair. But on the bottom lane, there is a kill going the other way. I think Bulldog's 6, so that was probably a track kill.
Yeah.
Did he get a track kill off? I didn't actually see.
I'm sure he did. There's no reason he wouldn't.
And that came off the back of a nice rotation from S4. The 2 solos getting big. Beastmaster and Bounty Hunter. This can... You know, you talked about a way to kind of deal with the Sven. This is the hero who can do it. Especially in the Beastmaster, and he's having a good start.
Yeah, and now I'm just more on Bamboe's play right there. That was beautiful because he didn't have any vision. That was completely blind by him.
Right, just basically predicting that the Rubik was going to run exactly that way, not juking north, not going back towards the ramp and kind of running back into you. And Bamboe goes in Viz while in Firefly. I think you actually see the flames, right?
Yes, you do.
So this is not maybe as sneaky as he would like, or is it? No.
I think he anticipated Eternal Envy to pull that level 1 camp, and he wanted to do something cute. I don't know, just mess with him.
I'll tell you, it was fucking adorable, but, well, it didn't work. So, as far as farm goes, loda is getting a lot of farm. 30... You know, the other interesting thing is they keep on getting farm in the offensive tri-lanes. It's not just that they're running them. Well, it's not really a tri-lane anymore, but... Like, their off-lane is farming every game, and Sony Ace is actually being out-farmed by loda. On top of that, support Sven is 1 CS. Now they go into Sony Ace. Meanwhile, middle lane, kills are traded. Akke, the target of choice here. They want to focus him. loda gets the hell out, gets the hell back in. One more decay, not going to be enough. So where are those kills being traded? It looks like maybe some contesting of the ancient stacking? Looks like that must have been it. Beastmaster. No, he dies mid. Envy tries to back him up. So Bamboe gets a kill and then pays for it. No early blink for him. He's a bit behind when it comes to farm.
Yeah, and here's like the controversial thing about Gyrocopter. It's whether you go Rocket Barrage or you go the Flat Cannon. Honestly, I believe Rocket Barrage is pretty overpowered. It does insane DPS and it's on a low cooldown. Honestly, I would get it, but it looks like he went for the Flat Cannon build here. But the thing I don't understand is that they didn't really stack for him. There's one medium camp stack right here by the Jakiro, but there's no ancient stacking going on, so he wouldn't really put it to use immediately. I think the Rocket Barrage would have aided this lane and like turning some of these ganks around.
Yeah, I'm a little bit curious about that as well. That the flat, like when you see this, you often see a Helm of the Dominator rushed, or your team stacks the camps. Helm of the Dominator more of the pub response. loda is trying to bait out the stun there. He'll rage a little bit early, stun onto S4. Now the Gyrocopter ult, he does a lot of AoE damage, but it's not enough to roar. Just to pick up that kill, Tombstone dropped. loda has the slow soon, but is it soon enough? Doesn't look like it. Mania comes in with the drive-by Ice Path. What an Ice Path from him. Cutting off that retreat. Meanwhile, middle lane, well, did these teams just decide, okay, now we go to war? Because Bamboe was busy diving mid as well onto Bulldog. Oh, man. This is a game of trades, and I have a feeling the Bounty Hunter might be the hero that you want in this game of trades. Generally is. And he's got a good start, too. Level 8. Max Shuriken Toss, going for a little bit more burst damage. Wants to get active. He's not trying to just sit in lane and trade hits with Windrunner all day.
Right, and S4 is setting the place beautifully as the mid hero. He's doing exactly what Zhaoi would do. He's getting the lane's advantage. He's getting these ganks off every time, and I think it's really putting pressure on AL to feel like they need to reciprocate it some way. So that's really great for them.
Oh, loda's dropping low on the bottom lane, and Mania will be able to find him. He's waiting for that rage to wear off. Boy, it lasts forever. loda is going to run right back in. Freezer so low as well. He'll survive. Oh boy, and admiralbulldog would love to have Boots of Travel right now. He would love to be in that bottom lane. Or Global Teleport, or heck, a Zeus for that matter. But, well, he's going to rotate there now, heads back towards mid. Bamboe's tracked. On comes S4. Roar again.
Nice
Bamboe.
roar.
Oh boy. This is going to be a 4-hero track kill. Bamboe's doing a lot of damage, but not enough. That's the kind of kill they cannot afford to give away. And our first look at the gold graph. Over 2k gold lead. The track kill really going to help that out. Over 2k experience lead. And this is the Ancients as well. They haven't even finished the Ancient stack.
They delayed the Blink Dagger a lot with that kill, and it was a beautiful play by S4 actually. If you saw, he was pulling the Ancient stack down, giving vision to the Dire, whether he knew it or not. So what happened was Bamboe started running up, thinking that he could interrupt S4's ancient killing, or whatever it is. But S4 actually popped the Invis and ran middle, so he intercepted Bamboe's attempt and got the kill that way.
Well, we see the weakness of that Gyrocopter. Well, for one thing, Lifesteal doesn't care about all your nuke damage. He doesn't care about Rocket Barrage. Oh, middle lane, onto Eternal Envy, gets caught, gets burst down. A lot of nukes being thrown his way. S4 might be the follow-up kill.
Still the lasso.
Ooh, and a buyback from Envy. Wants to fight this. S4 is pretty tanky, and he doesn't have any items to make him tanky, just the raw HP. Being a Beastmaster, something stolen, but what was it? Flame Break, pushing him back. What a play from Envy. Bails out S4. Come with me. Looking for the stun. Envy trying to find the body block, not able to do so.
Nice.
Still giving chase. Almost body blocked him as well. Bulldog in the back lines. I think that might have been a track kill. Flame Break again used by Envy. Oh my goodness, he continues to impress. Where's that zap, though? Just finish the job. Envy will do so. What a turnaround by him. Buyback, definitely worth it, and now a track kill to follow.
Oh.
They're falling into the trap of trying to trade with no Tidehunter, and that is not a game they can win with this Bounty Hunter afoot.
Right, this Gyro shouldn't have even attempted to come. There's nothing he can do, absolutely nothing. I was going to say, I mean, it was a decent move because Freezer actually got the tower on bottom while all that was going on, but they just took too many, deaths. They took too many trades that they didn't need to take. I think they just kind of overreacted at that point. They didn't need to go so aggressively. They should have, played a little more safely, played a little more defensively. This is your tournament life on the line. You can't just do these aggressive moves.
I don't know if
thinking them through.
I don't know if it's in their blood to do it. Is the thing, especially a lineup that has Bamboe as their solo mid. I feel like pretty much inherently you're gonna be aggressive all the time. And well, it felt like that's the overall strategy, right? Because your gyrocopter is maxing flat cannon. He's going for a farming build. He's going for late game. I guess it's nice against the zombies early on, but I don't know. He's not even fighting against Undying most of the time. It feels a little bit like there's a sort of a mental disconnect. Like the plan was to get the gyrocopter fat, but then for some reason they just decided we have to start fighting. We got to trade. We got to be aggressive. Maybe Bamboe's screaming at his team, come on, we can kill this guy, we can kill this guy. Who knows what the conversation is, but the outcome is just playing right into No Tidehunter's hands. S4 initiated upon, track on the high ground. There will be this is just annoying. Bamboe gonna try and kite him to death. S4
the problem is the Firefly is such a low level, it's not doing anything.
Oh, he does get the roar off before he dies, doesn't matter. Well, they get a kill, but their kills are not track kills, and then Come With Me almost thrown up on the cliff. A lot of cliff walking going on in this game. Bamboe comes back in, wants to go for round 2. Bulldog maybe should throw out another track. Shackle is gonna latch Bulldog to the tree.
The one tree.
He's already got a yeah, right, the one tree. Oh man, he's already got a Vlad's, but he does die. That does not help you against the nukes. And the gold graph really starts to dip the other way.
Well, I mean, they have the Vlads and they also have the medallion and the Beastmaster, so at any point they can sneak this Roshan, and AL has to be aware of that. So that's one more thing that they have to worry about.
It is.
But more on the Batrider though, I don't really agree with the Flame Break Max. I really think if they had Firefly, especially when you mentioned that Beastmaster is tanky, I think it was more like Firefly was just not doing any damage.
Right. It makes perfect sense. Akke's taking some damage. You generally don't want to dive Batrider or Undying under a tower, and we're seeing why here. This is, well, that's in the Bible of Undying. Just don't tower dive him unless he's really far behind, and he's not far enough behind.
Exactly. Well, Sony Ace is getting some time to recuperate up here, but it seems like they're going to lose this mid tower for free. There's not really anything they can do about this.
And he doesn't match up well at all against the Lifestealer because almost all of his damage is magical. Sure, Flat Cannon gives you a lot of AoE spread. It's a good team fight DPSer. It's good for farming, but that doesn't help you a lick against Lifestealer. He walks and he rages, and what do? You cry for mommy as you die. Oh! Bulldogs.
Wow, like a Sixth Sense. There's no vision there. You just walk there and kill the courier.
That may have been one of those, let me just scout things out. Oh, hey, courier. Cool. Or maybe maybe he's map hacking. That's the other possibility.
More on the matchup, the Sven actually... I thought the Sven would have been a great carry versus Nyx. Because it doesn't matter if you're life-stealing every hit, if you get crit for 1,000, you're still going to die. But this Gyro is not going to put out any damage. Most of it's, coming from magical sources, so I'm not sure what that, the decision to make Sven a support, I don't know if that was a good idea.
Bamboe is at it again, but this is going to take him forever to kill Loda, especially with Rage. And this is such a bait. Bamboe's got to realize that he can't get this kill, at least not easily. In comes the Rage, and he's going to slow down Freezer. There's a haste through it on the low ground. It's going to be picked up by Freezer. Loda's still at half health. He's been on this. This is not a hero you want to try and cliff walk. In fact, Firefly wears off. And like you mentioned, not Max. Freezer actually the one to drop. Somehow Mania got pushed up to the high ground. Was that by the roars?
All we need is Magnus, and this should just be a cliff game.
Oh, this game of cliffs. Not a game that you want to... You don't want Nyx on a cliff. That's not the hero you want up there.
Yeah, Nyx on a cliff, snakes on a plane. You don't want any of that.
Oh, Come With Me. Does have the ult. It's level 8. They're trying to push the tier 1 top. It's still feel like you mentioned, and if they try to pressure this top lane too much, that opens up the quick Roshan. I want to point out S4 went for what we saw from Xiao 8 in G1, which is the early points in Inner Beast just to help you push the lane and control the runes better. But now he's going back for the Call of the Wild, and this is going to give them a little bit more map control. This is going to help them out with the Bounty Hunter. I I feel like the build, the timings were perfect for, you know, what they needed in the laning stage, and now, like, he could have maxed Inner Beast, but they don't really have a great pushing line at mid-game. He got the rune control, and now he wants the ganky power. He wants to combo with that bounty hunter. These little adjustments from him are pretty smart.
And for those of you who don't know, it's really great to pick up the Inner Beast when your Beastmaster's still mid versus range hero, because it'll constantly push the lane so that you're able to get the runes, as well as being able to spam the axes right before the rune spawn. It's really great for rune control, and that's another way that you can combat the range difference. And from NTH, you see this a lot of the time. They give S4 these stacks. They give him the stacks with his Magnus. Now they're giving him the stacks with his Beastmaster. They don't seem to give him to Loda as much when he's not playing a hard carry, and it's going to work out really beautifully for them, because he's going to have really great items right now. He's going to have a mech right when the stack's over.
And how do AL deal with that? They've got, I mean, it's magical damage, which won't hurt the lifestealer. It's I feel like AL rather rely on just getting kills during that, let's say, that first shackle shot or that lasso. Speaking of lasso, Bamboe is so far behind. This is, I suppose it's a bit of a weakness of the Batrider. He can't really farm Ancients that quickly. You can farm your own jungle, but when you solo mid the Batrider, if he's farming the jungle, then I feel like that's a victory for the other team anyway, because that's time he's not killing you. He's not being aggressive. He's not pressuring.
I feel like the rotation they could have made there was they could have sent Sony or the Jakiro to the mid lane to soak up the experience while he goes to the jungle, because he's going to get better farm in the jungle than he would get in the lane, because he's able to farm so many camps at the same time. And that way, Sony or Mania would be able to pick up the farm, because top lane is just a death trap. Anyone who walks in is going to get open wounds and follow it up. It's just impossible to farm.
This is a maelstrom for Loda now, and this is Loda not really getting like the best farm. Well, I say that
it's amazing farm.
Yeah, it's actually amazing farm, and that's in the suicide lane. That was an undying lifestealer dual lane. I mean, talk about what sounds like a crappy lane as far as control goes, but you know, double melee, they don't have that much mobility, but just so tanky. And I feel like the only reason it worked is because of all the de-warding. And you also pointed out, Envy blocking the pulling camps, also giving them vision of any possible rotations. If that's just a standard lane without all that support from Envy, it fails horribly. Instead, it works out pretty beautifully.
Yeah, and the way that the counter warding worked out for them is that they just never knew where Envy was. He could be in the lane, he could be right there, he could be pulling Ancients. You would never know. And that's kind of the mind game they were playing there. If, in a tri lane, generally, if one of the supports is out of the lane and you know that, you're going to initiate, but you know, AL just never knew where he was, so it allowed them to be efficient as well as you know, controlling the lane. So that was a great play by him.
Well, it's looking good for no Tidehunter, but it's definitely a lead that AL can come back from. I guess I'm not sure who's really the stimulus for that comeback. While this was all happening, AL did pick up a Roshan. Sony Ace has the Aegis. It's not. I don't feel like it's a game-breaking hero to have the Aegis, but hey, he's got it now. So
yeah, and
it's something.
That's denying it from them as well, from NTH. But I think Freezer is going to be instrumental in this. He needs to land a really nice shackle shot, connect up those core heroes, and he does have pretty considerable farm at the moment. And it's not to say Sony Ace doesn't, but he needs to finish his BKB, and he won't for a while, especially with all this pressure. But I mean, Sony Ace is actually doing a pretty good job farming up with all this commotion.
Yes, and no Tidehunter, just sensing an opportunity, and with the track onto the shackle or onto the freezer, that makes shackle shots a little bit harder to come by. Envy has also stolen a level 3 Ice Path. That's not going to be good. Ice Paths crisscross. When Ice Paths collide, Loda is here with the big damage infesting out of the creeps, trying to maybe dodge away from a lasso. In comes the Stormbolt. That also stolen by Envy. A none he just stole. Bamboe dying to the zombies. S4 to bring him down. It's chaos. It is quite a few track kills coming out. Now Freezer has Windrun trying to bait them onto the high ground. They're not going to take that bait. Everybody tracked up now. Windrun is still here. Decay continues to be spammed. No Tidehunter too tanky. Oh, almost finding the kill his Bulldog. Could die to a power shot. Nope, it's on cooldown. And they get the tier 2.
I actually feel like that was their fight to win. NTH overextended really hardcore, and it just seemed like AL didn't have any focus. They didn't have any communication between themselves, so they were just hitting different units. But as you can see, NTH, they're all low across the board. If they just focused and they figured out like what hero we need to kill in these fights, and it would be a lot more smooth for them. I think that would have been their comeback factor right there.
Well, now they lose the tier 2. They've already lost the tier 2 top. The only tower they have left is... Well, they have 2 on the bottom lane, but... Oh, wow. They all... This is a smoke into... This is a TP... They smoke up, then they all TP bottom.
That's a huge investment.
This is a Hail Mary. I mean, how much gold is that? Like 700 gold just to try and set up this gank?
Yeah, it's a lot. And they don't even know. They don't have vision here. They're just taking a gamble. I mean... I guess they have to do this. I've never seen it before. It's pretty creative.
This is your Dota Hail Mary. I mean, this is, like you said, tournament lives on the line. Let's go for it. It fits a lot of their players. I don't know if it fits the situation in the game, and it certainly, it's not a gambit you could expect to work against no Tidehunter. They have shown some really great map awareness. If they have a strength, I really think it is the coordination and just the positioning from the team overall. They were out of position in that last fight, but I mean more in like a macro sense. Like,
yeah,
you don't see them like, oh, hero farming a lane he shouldn't be too often.
Definitely, and you see how they're just grouping up when they don't know where anyone is, and you can see Envy pinging around the jungle. He has wards there. He's saying, "That's peculiar. They're not farming the jungle. They're not farming lanes. They have to be smoked up." And they also have the Hawk to scout it out. So defensive play here. Oh, actually, Envy might get caught out. Or as I say that, the commentators curse, but. Yeah, for the most part, they were playing that pretty well.
So you also learned the commentator's favorite catchphrase. This is looking like a good fight for AO. They are finding the initiation. No Tidehunter. Uh-oh. S4 has the mech. No, mech is used. Will it be enough? Oh, Lifestealer's just going to town. Nothing to deal with Loda. Where is the damage to bring him down? A farm spend could do it. Unfortunately, oh, does he have a basher? No, just trying to bring him down quickly during that TP. Not going to be able to. Mania needs to hit this Ice Path, but something was stolen. Ice Path stolen by Envy. One more Decay, I think, but Akke might just be slightly out of range. Decay just gonna miss. Barely at that. Did Bounty Hunter die in that fight? No. Oh no, he fights the track, and the Ice Paths do collide! That's adorable. That is friggin'... Like, they don't have an answer for this Lifestealer. There's no roar, there's no physical damage or real items on the Sven. It's, right. I guess, the lasso, but they used it on someone else in that fight. I can't remember now. My brain's already going to mush, but I don't think it was Loda, right? Right? Tell me it wasn't Loda. Tell me I'm not going to say.
I didn't see that. It was crazy. It was fight.
Yeah, this is a chaotic fight. Stormbolt, no rage. Actually, Loda a bit slow on the trigger, but the Ice Path is here now. Rage will come out. Bamboe getting mauled to smithereens, still alive for the moment. I love Loda's Infest timings and also the Stormbolt in the back lines. Envy is stealing Stormbolt and Ice Path like every single fight. This is like playing against 2 additional supports. Too much lockdown. Loda still can't be brought down. Now Bulldog on the chase. No Tidehunter, just showing superior coordination and frankly having a carry that there is no easy answer for, whereas there's quite an easy answer for this gyrocopter. It's anybody just right-clicking him, and he'll die.
Yeah, and honestly, that was a lot of impatience from Bamboe. He had his lasso when he blinked in. It was on 2-second cooldown. Then he just got chunked by the Nakes. If he had it immediately, or if they waited just 2 seconds, they probably would have been able to at least get some semblance of the combo. But in fact, they just went in, rushed it, and then they got destroyed. So there's a little bit of impatience there.
Wow. No Tidehunter. And this is, you know, doing sort of these aggressive tri-lanes, which I haven't actually seen out of them too often. I haven't watched them as much as some other people, so maybe they've been doing it, but this is very well executed, and it just feels like they're playing to their strengths and also kind of countering what AO wants to do. But the big fight will break out. Racks have not been claimed just yet. Mania, 4, 5, 6 swipes, even with... Oh, this is too easy for Loda. This is far too easy. Lifestealer, normally a little bit easily kited, but with Track, with Roar, with the Quill Beast, all these things to slow the enemy down and to speed him up. Loda is having an easy time staying attached at the hip to targets, and that is not where AO want to be. comewithme gets caught out. Sony Ace comes in and then realizes he can't actually do anything to Loda, except run away to the fountain.
And even now he's still going stats. I still don't agree with that. I think if you have BKB, you can just go crazy and rocket barrage in the middle of everybody. It does insane damage, so he's just not really helping his team out too much. He doesn't have the DPS to support. He's just justifying flat cannon auto attacks only. He needs to be putting on more damage than that.
Bulldog is just so farmed as well. I mean, this is... It's not like he has that many creeps. What is his score, actually? 6-4-3? He's just got so many useful... double boots as well. I thought something looked a little strange here. Phase boots and the boots to travel. And they've got such a good lineup to play from a lead, because they've got the Hawk, they've got Probably the gem is up on Envy as I check. It's actually not, but it will be soon, I'm sure. They've got the Hawk, they've got Bounty Hunter. It's like leaving your base is just real scary for AO.
Well, I mean, just to me, this whole series just says that NTH was a tier above AL. They have their strats down, they've been practicing really hard, and it's paying off for them. So hopefully they're going to continue with their success. And, you know, AL, hopefully they practice a bit more.
Well, it's not over yet, but it is looking rather bleak. And Assault Crash, just another bad sign. This is a big item to pick on up on Lifestealer. It is, I mean, it's going to help them deal with the Warcry as well. Not like he's been having trouble. Anyway, Loda's going to breach the high ground here. Enrage immediately. 4 auto attacks at most. And down goes the Twin-Headed Dragon. Now the route is on. The Hawk going to start giving chase. Scouting up high in the sky. Well, at least that kill happened bottom, so not going to be quite as easy for no Tidehunter to push a second lane of Rex. They'll just farm the massive stack of Ancients here instead. And a casual Necro 2 picked up by S4.
I'm surprised he didn't go for the Acceptor. It's quite nice with that hero. But,
It's
I mean, more pushing potential.
It's quite silly on that hero, if you ask me. It's a little... I feel like that... Like, you look at that upgrade and then you compare it to, I don't know, Bane's Acceptor, and something doesn't feel right. Which, by the way, I think is the worst Acceptor upgrade in the game. So useless.
Yeah, it is pretty bad.
Well, what's stopping them now? They've got the R's, they've got the mech, they've got the pipe even on Undying.
They'll just wait out the Roshan. It's right here, you might as well.
How convenient. This is like ordering delivery. You don't even have to leave your home base. And no Tidehunter's home base has become anywhere on AL's side of the map. AL's home base has become the tier 3s. And Yasha Sony Ace picking up. He's just so far behind, and he needs to be way ahead to deal with a Lifestealer.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't even think that Gyro deserves to be in that position where he's the hard carry. I think he needs to be supported by another carry, or, you know, just not in that position, not in the one position ever. I don't think he has that potential, unless you just go super late.
Maybe if you've got something like an Enigma and a Mag to help set him up, but in this situation wasn't enough. And the chase is on, the route is on. This is no Tidehunter really bulldozing their way to victory. Sony Ace, really the level 1 Rocket Barrage, it's not even worth the time it takes to cast at this point. If it was, well, I mean, it does a decent amount of damage, but just doesn't seem like enough.
Still rank 1.
Yeah. Loda comes in. Rage is really early just to try and walk past that Ice Path. Now gonna walk away. The missile will scare off Bulldog, but this does not hit Invis units. So, nothing to worry about there. In the middle lane, the tower being rapidly brought down. Basher in the stash for Loda. That's a good problem to have. Having a Basher in your stash and not having room for it in your inventory. He'll take that any day.
Looks like he's bringing it up right now. I'm not sure if they're going to wait. Oh, he's not going to wait. He's just going to go for it.
Who needs to? You've got the Necro Aura, although I think the minions just despawn. You've got the Assault Cuirass. You've got the Vlads. This is a lot of, you know, the plus damage aura, the armor aura from the AC. This Rax dies, and it dies fast, and they just don't have a response for this Lifestealer charging in. I think Loda may be slightly overextended here, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Bamboe jumps in. Looks like he already dropped the lasso. Now the Stormbolt. Again, Envy steals the Stormbolt. Damn it, every fight he's stealing it. They're just lucky it's not a Ravage, I think. But it doesn't seem to matter. Bamboe's going to fall. This is no Tidehunter. Like you said, just the better team. And when I say team, I mean team. They've played... At times it's looked like AL are kind of a collection of individuals. A much younger... Not younger as individuals, but as a team, they just haven't had the practice together. No Tidehunter are a well-oiled machine. Everyone's on the same page. The picks are solid. The lanes seem to work well, and also just play to the player's strengths. This is a team that, I mean, I think they have a decent shot at taking Empire.
Yeah, I definitely agree. They have their shit down. They know they're very methodical. You can see how Eternal is always stacking, and they know where the farm's going and how they're going to control the mid game with it. They got the mecha just purely from ancient stacks on the S4. And that makes it really difficult for the other team to deal with. So I really like the play coming out from NTH right here, and they definitely can even take this tournament if they just continue to play this way, or
Well, for some people, I think the path to taking this tournament just got a lot easier, as from what I've been hearing, EG has actually, well, spoiler alert, but EG has actually defeated Na'Vi.
Wow.
Which is, I think it was a 2-0 sweep as well. That one comes as probably a shocker to many people. I'm just going off the stream chat. They could be trolling for all I know, but assuming that's true, I mean, the way is open if you can get past Empire.
Interesting. Okay, well, props to NTH, and you have a good road right now.
Yeah, guys, thank you very much for tuning in. More importantly, thank you, Brian. Thank you, FluffNStuff, for casting with me. It has been a very long day. Lots of great games, but we do appreciate your insight. Guys, if you enjoy FluffNStuff's casting, be sure to follow him, support him, show him some love. He should have, frankly, a lot more Twitter followers than he does. Twitter.com/WKBrianLee. That may be one of the reasons he doesn't have more. It is not FluffNStuff. It should be his Twitter handle. I think it's probably taken, but... as for me, I'm LD, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.com/ldDOTA. If you missed any of today's games, of course, all the replays are available for free because Dreamhack is awesome and there's no cost to their tournament ticket. All the commentary should be available in-game, or the VODs if you want to watch them. All will be on my YouTube channel. But once again, congratulations to No Tidehunter. They move forward through the brackets. A smooth victory over Absolute Legends. Now the real challenge, the real test awaits. It's going to be... No Tidehunter face off against Team Empire on one side of the bracket. On the other side, it will be Fnatic apparently facing off against EG. And now with Na'Vi out of the picture, this is... I feel like any of these teams have what it takes. I would say... I feel like maybe... It's hard to say. Fnatic has been playing real well, so we'll have to see, guys. Anyway, that wraps up for today's broadcast. Thanks again, Brian, for joining me. Stay tuned. Or rather, tune in tomorrow to twitch.tv/DreamhackDota. They'll probably be doing a post-game, post-day wrap-up. More importantly, they will be casting all of the semifinals and the grand finals. So again, big thanks, big love to them for doing such a great job with the production on this tournament. If you enjoyed our casting, do consider subscribing to Beyond the Summit. It really helps to allow us to do this full-time and bring you these great games. Thanks again for tuning in, guys. We'll see you sometime in the future, but we're done for today. Good night.